Hi, I'm Steve Milton from Innovations in Dementia, and this is the third series in our video on using Zoom on the iPhone. I will confess that this video is quite a lot more involved than the other two. It's a lot more to focus on and it's a longer video. So for that reason, I'd suggest that if you do find yourself getting a bit confused and you're only speaking to a small number of people on a regular basis, that you maybe want to ask them to set up the meetings and send you the invitations to them. But if you do want to have a go, we've tried to break this down into each individual step and, give it a go and good luck. Okay, so before we go into Zoom, there's one thing that we need to do in the settings of the iPhone to get it to work properly. So I'm going to click here on my settings icon, it's the one with the little cogs. And I'm going to go down to the, where are we? To the privacy tab, that's the one there with the little hand. So I click on there. And now I'm going to go to contacts, second one from the top. Quick. Now you can see here a list of the apps that are on my iPhone that I allow to access my phone numbers that are stored there, my contacts. And you'll see that I've already got Zoom at the bottom. You might find on yours that it's what they call greyed out. If it's the case, just pull it across and turn that on. Now that then says to the phone, okay, I'm going to allow Zoom to look at all my telephone numbers. It just makes it easier, so when you're setting up meetings and inviting people, you don't have to laboriously type in and remember their telephone numbers all the time. Okay, so we're done. So, okay, let's go and look at the Zoom. There we go. Now, before we start, we need to change some things in the settings of Zoom. You only need to do this once. So I'm going to run through with you what the various settings are. Well, those that I can understand anyway. And again, you know, there's a lot of deep functionality to Zoom. And I don't fully grasp all of it. But I think it's important that we stick to those things that are going to make it easy for us to set up meetings. So I'm going to click on the settings icon there. And I'm going to go firstly to contacts. And I'm going to click on phone contact matching just there. Okay, I need to type in my phone number here. So you see where it says phone number there. Click in there and type in 07549944795 and then continue. And it says, do you want to continue with the phone number below? Yes, click on continue. Right, so that's now got Zoom able to see all of my phone numbers. So let's go back, click on there, go back, and let's go to the meetings tab here at the top. Now there are lots of settings in this screen, but I'm only going to look at those which I think are important for getting you going. There are others, feel free to play with them, but I'm only going to focus on a handful of these at this point. Okay. Right, okay, let's run through these. Auto connect to audio, and I want to select there, yes, use internet. So I want to use the internet for my audio. Again, it seems a bit self-evident to me that I want to do that, but there you go. So the next one is always mute my microphone. Well, since I want to be able to talk to people, I'm going to leave that off. Similarly, always turn off my video. I want people to see me, so I'm going to leave that off. Always show video preview. Now this can be helpful if you want to, I don't know, check what you look like or what your background looks like before you start the meeting. If you do, click on that. I don't care, so I'm going to leave that off. Now, where it says always show meeting controls, do you remember in the last video I showed you at the bottom of the screen there are a range of controls that you can use for doing things like turning your microphone on and off, and you can call those up just by tapping on the screen. Now, it might be handy to have them on all the time, just in case that you forget that you need to tap the screen to call them up. it's just handy to have them there, I think, sometimes. So I'm going to click that on. So we've looked at the most important controls that you need for getting you going, but there are others that you might want to take a look at. The one, for example, on meeting timer meeting reminder is quite useful. Gives you a 15-minute warning of a meeting coming up. And there are others. Have a play around, but I think we've covered those that are most important for now. So let's go now and look and see how we set up meetings and invite people. Now, to do this, we go to the little icon here, Meet and Chat. So let's click on that. Now, there are two main ways to set up a meeting on Zoom. By far the easiest is to set up a meeting straight away. And to do that, click here on New Meeting. And you can see, because I've said I want my video on, it's going to have the video on automatically. Let's click on Start a Meeting. And there we go. There I am. Okay. And there's all the little icons at the bottom because I've asked them to be on, so we can mute the microphone there. We can stop the video, start it again. We can share things like photos by clicking on the Share Content button. But how do we go about inviting other people to the meeting we've just set up? So here's how you do it. Click on Participants. And you can see the only participant right now is me. And that's no fun, is it? So let's invite some people. Click on Invite at the bottom there. And by far and away the easiest way to do this would be to send a message. Click on Send Message. So this will send a message to someone's phone. And because you've set up your contacts earlier, as soon as you start to type in the number, the details should automatically pop up. And there she is, Rachel. I'm going to click on her there. Click. Again, that's why it's really handy to have set up the contacts, so you don't have to laboriously type in all the telephone numbers. And can you see what it's brought up there? Not very attractive, is it? But basically it's a message saying, click here to join a Zoom meeting. And let's send that to Rachel. And let's just wait a few moments for her to get that and to respond to it. So bear with me. And there she is. Hello, Rachel. So all the controls work in exactly the same way. I mean, Rachel's not very talkative this morning, which is frankly unlike her. Okay, let's carry on with the meeting and, chat. And it's now time to end the meeting. So to do that, we click on End at the top there and End Meeting in red. Click on that. And that will end the meeting for everyone. Done. Okay, now the other way to organise a meeting is to schedule a meeting. And this is just a slightly more formal way of inviting people. So click on Schedule. There's a small range of controls here to think about. The first one is there. We can set a name for the meeting. So let's say Meeting with Mum. There. Okay. Start time. Well, Mum likes to get up early, so let's say start time at 9 o'clock. You can set that for any time you like, but I'm going to leave it at 9 o'clock. The duration, again, you can set for any time. Let's say we want a 30-minute meeting. Time zone, don't worry about that. You're in London, you're in Greenwich Mean Time. Now, let's imagine that you want to set up a meeting to happen at the same time every week. You can do that there. So you can click on same time every day, same day every week, every month, and so on. Now, with the calendar setting, if I've got that set to iCalendar, when I schedule this meeting, it will automatically send a reminder to my calendar, which is quite handy. I'm going to leave the personal meeting ID off. I don't need to go into that at the moment. I'm not going to set a password. The only reason I would set a password would be if I was having a big meeting and I had publicly announced the meeting and I want to control who comes to it. This is just a meeting with my mum, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to have host video on. I want people to see me. I want to see people, participant video on, so that's clicked. Audio option, telephone and device audio, leave that as it is, that's fine. Now waiting room, I'm not going to use a waiting room. I'd use a waiting room again if I'd organised a big meeting and I wanted to make sure that there were no ne'er-do-wells lurking because I've advertised it publicly. I'd set up a waiting room. I'm not going to for this. So I'm done. Click on done at the top. And you can see there are all the meetings. There are all the details. It will have put these details into my calendar. So I just click on add. And it's now done that. So how do I invite people to this meeting? Right. So I do this. I go to meetings. And there it is. Meeting with Mum. Let's click on that. Add invitees. So again, there are two ways of inviting people. The first would be to click on send a message, and that would be the same as the other meeting. I would send a message to my mum's phone. What if I wanted to email her though? Now that's a little bit more tricky. So what we do is we click here on copy to clipboard. Now what that just did was to save all of the information and the link to the meeting to my iPhone, to what's called the clipboard. And now let's see how we use that to send a message. So I'm going to turn Zoom off for a minute. I'm going to go to my emails. I'm going to set up a new email there. Okay, don't worry about the address. You just put your mum's details in there. Subject Zoom, and I click on the email, and I just hold my finger on there. Takes a few goes, and I just click on the screen and select paste. And you can see there's the link there. So Mum just clicks on that at the appointed time and it takes her to the meeting. Okay, email sent, we're done. Let's go back to Zoom. Okay, so I think that's really, in terms of setting up simple meetings, especially for a small number of people, that's pretty much all you need to know. There are lots of other bits of functionality and fun you can have. Play around with it, see what you can do. But I will be honest, it wasn't the easiest part of Zoom for me. There are some elements of it that I just couldn't get to work. But again, in terms of setting up simple meetings, that should be all you need. Okay. That's it. We're done. Thank you. So, okay, hopefully that wasn't too difficult, and have a go. Experiment. You'll probably make mistakes. Certainly I made enough of them. And enjoy using Zoom on your iPhone. There will be more videos coming from us on how to use other devices to access Zoom, things like Android phones and iPads. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.